What is up, everybody? We just watched Mandalorian Chapter 20, titled The Foundling.
Mm.
And this is our post-watch reaction. And we're going to get into spoilers, so just know that. So here we go. Nick, the episode opened with all of these Mandalorians are training on the beach. And we get a really cool scene. Well, before I get there, Grogu is playing with rocks. And then they're
And then
revealed to be
yeah,
crabs.
yeah,
And that was
hermit
cute.
crabs.
That was cute. Grogu was looking for a snack. It was kind of funny. It was funny though when Din Djarin walked over and got Grogu, and then all those things revealed to be crabs.
Yeah, they're like, all right, he's gone. Let's make a run for it.
Yeah, they were scared to death. So then, in the training, Pedro Pascal's character Din Djarin decides Grogu is going to train as well. He's about to fight.
Yep.
So he fights Paz Vizsla's son, and kind of a, it was. We had already heard that this was going to happen, that they were going to train and fight against each other.
Mhm.
It was a little different. Grogu was getting his butt handed to him the first two rounds, and then Grogu's like, "All right, enough of this," and then he let it all out.
Yeah, time to do a somersault, jump,
Yeah,
spin, maneuver.
yep. So Grogu, defeated the Vizsla kid, and then I guess what you would say the main premise of the whole thing. A dragon comes. I mean, it's not a dragon, but it's a dragon creature, a big flying creature,
Yeah,
comes and takes him away, and now we have the premise of the entire episode. This episode is about the Mandalorians coming together and rescuing a foundling, which they will say is the highest, carrying out the highest part of the creed is to
Yeah.
rescue a foundling. So that's what this entire episode is about. Anything you want to say about that as we're going through it?
I definitely have some issues with this whole thing. Well, I'll get into it as we go, but yeah, the stuff on the beach and stuff was cool, and then Grogu training, to be a Mandalorian one day and stuff. They strapped a little dart thing on his wrist.
It was so cute.
Yeah. So yeah, definitely cool and fine with all that.
All right. So we continue, and Bo Katan's like, "Hey, I have scaled areas like this before." She follows the creature in the ship. The Mandalorians are all trying to chase the big dragon creature.
And they're running out of gas.
They're running out of jetpack.
We're talking
fuel.
about running out of gas in Star Wars.
Running out of gas. Yeah, but this makes sense.
Yeah.
They definitely don't have unlimited fuel in their jetpacks,
Yeah.
so they are running out. And Paz Vizsla's like, "This has happened, many times," or whatever he said.
Yeah.
It was like, wait a minute, this happens often?
Yeah. This is like a normal thing, and you guys are still here? Or not taking any precautious measures moving forward?
You get eaten by giant crocodiles. You get taken away by dragons. Like, find
And
another
it's just
place.
like, oh, this is a normal thing around here,
Anyways, Bo Katan follows the creature in her ship, and I guess she elevates so high, she watches it, and she follows it all the way back to his nest. So Bo goes back. She's like, "Hey, I know where it's at. This is what we got to do. We can't use our jetpacks, or we'll alert it. They told us that at least 13 times.
Yeah.
Can't use our jetpacks. We can't use our jetpacks." So
remember, don't use your jetpacks.
Yeah, exactly. So Bo takes, a team of Mandalorians. And while he takes the team of Mandalorians, I guess the armorer is bored. So she makes Grogu a piece of armor, his first piece of armor. Go ahead.
His first ginormous piece of armor.
But it's here where things get really interesting in the episode. It finally happened as the armor's banging on the armor. What do you call that when the armor bang? I don't know. She's
Um,
she's pounding that metal. That's
yeah,
all I know.
forging.
Thank you. Good
Yeah,
word. She's forging the armor, and that takes Grogu back. That pounding and that noise takes him back to Order 66, which I'm guessing it's been a few years ago.
yeah,
I mean, this is 5 years post Return of the Jedi.
yeah. So this has
Order
been
66. I mean, this is like, let's see, Luke in Return of the Jedi would have been like what, 27?
late 20s or early
Yeah.
early
So
30s.
this is 25 plus years ago
Yeah,
ish. Now somebody in the comments is gonna be like, Coach, you're a fake fan. It was 23 years and 4 months. You
yeah,
know, thank you, Wikipedia, which blocked us and we don't watch their stuff anymore.
yeah,
So anyways, the doors bust open, Nick, and it's showing the Jedi fight in the temple.
yeah.
Back to Order 66. The Jedi's bust open, and in walks in a
Clone
Jedi.
troopers.
Yeah, clone troopers come in, not Darth Vader.
Yeah,
It was clone troopers, which they pulled it off. It worked. I like it. It would have been cooler if it had been Vader, but the scene definitely worked.
yeah,
And it was cool to see clone troopers killing Jedi.
yep,
We didn't really get to see that very much in Revenge of the Sith.
yeah,
So the clone troopers are killing the Jedi. It is point blank. There it is. I like that. That was good for the lore. But then you have a Jedi show up named Kellen, and he is played by a very famous or infamous Star Wars actor. And I got to tell you, it felt a little different, but I liked it. I liked it, and it was Darth Jar Jar himself, Ahmad Best,
yep,
as a Jedi who rescues Grogu. So, and then it goes through this whole thing. Like, he's being chased. He rescues the Foundling, I guess, or the Youngling. I guess that's a high part of their creed as well.
mm-hmm.
I would have thought that the Jedi would have been fighting the clone troopers instead of running around trying to rescue the younglings.
Yep,
But cool, whatever. The scene worked, and now it's the chase. Kellen escapes. He's being chased by the clone troopers. He lands. He's still being chased by the clone troopers. He gets in another ship, something from Naboo. It appears one of the Naboo ships, or something similar to it. Anyways, and
yeah,
he's still being chased.
and those were Naboo like soldiers that were on the
They appeared to be.
platform.
Yeah, they appeared to be.
So it was definitely a Naboo ship with Naboo soldiers. But on the chase scene, um, when they're in the tunnel and it has the train horn, I was like, really, a train horn from
Yeah.
Earth? Like, I thought they could have done something else there, but I don't hate the episode just because of that one thing. But it was something I noticed.
Yep, I'm with you. So, and I'm sitting here kind of going through it right now. So, and that was pretty much the end of the Kellen scene. So he comes in and saves the day. I'm going to guess.
They hyper jump out.
So, I mean, maybe this is kind of a bold prediction, but do you think we see this character again?
Yeah, I mean he lived. He's with Grogu. They hyper jump out of away from Coruscant. Both still alive. So yeah, I think we'll definitely see him again.
So another
Um,
character that went all the way through the original trilogy that we know nothing about, but that's what we do.
yeah, so they're basically developing a new character here. And Ahmad Best got so much crap, from Jar Jar, and he's talked about it and had got to the point where he was like suicidal, which I think is ridiculous for some freaking pushback on a character you played, but whatever.
Hey,
Man,
depression's a real thing, and you can't control it. So
yeah. Uh, so yeah, I'm glad that he got to come back and like do something that was better than the one part he's famous for that
oh,
was one of the worst characters in Star Wars history.
yeah, what he did here was good.
Yeah,
Was
yeah.
good. Bravo to Carl Weathers for all that.
Yep, he
Um,
directed the episode.
yeah, he that was really good. To me, honestly, that was the best part of the episode. Um, the whole going back to Order 66 and seeing that. It wasn't like it was a 10 out of 10 part, but it was the best part of the episode to me.
Yeah.
So then the Mandalorian, it goes back to the Mandalorians, so
Well,
that was cool. They took us out of the moment and took us back to something else, and now we're back in like proper storytelling here. And you see the Mandalorians are like, "Hey, we gotta get under this cliff so we can't be seen, and we'll make camp. And at first light, we're gonna go, get my son."
and before we get into this part, let me just say I found it weird, odd, and kind of dumb that Bo Katan just followed this creature, in the ship, and
Yeah.
then was like, "Oh, I found out where they're going," and then goes back, uh, and doesn't just go ahead and just go rescue him herself, and just keep pursuing.
So what you're really saying is the kids should be dead by the time they all get there.
The kid should definitely
Oh, it's a
be
day
dead.
later. It's a
Yeah,
day later.
it's a day later, and when they get up there to the top, the thing's not even there. It comes flying in and spits him out of his mouth uh later. So what? This she followed the creature to the nest, found out where the nest was, and then flew back, and then a day later that bird creature thing just still has the kid in his mouth.
Well, not in the mouth, in the stomach.
Yeah, in the
It
stomach,
it
he's
regurgitated my man,
yeah,
and he came out like dry,
dry.
like nothing,
Yeah.
nothing on him, not slimy, nothing.
So,
Good thing he had his Mando helmet on, or he'd be dead for sure.
yeah. So that's just another really stupid part of this episode. I think that's terrible writing. I mean, if I'm sitting here writing this story, I'd be like, "Golly, man, this is dumb. Like, why am I writing this?"
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand. I don't understand the writers involved here. Uh, that just was like, okay, yeah,
All right. Well, you're kind of giving overall. Let's get back on track here and save that for when we're done. Okay. So they get up to the top of the nest, and the kid's not up there. The dragon's not up there, but his three little babies are. So his
yeah.
three little babies are attacking. Uh, Vizsla's like, he's my son. I gotta find him. I don't have time to wait. And he was looking for his son, and then the three little babies pop out, and
Mm.
they're dangerous. And then Mama Bird shows up, and the whole team goes after the main dragon or whatever, and they're able to take it down, save the boy. Din Djarin was finally heroic. He's the one that rescued the boy from a dangerous fall that would have killed him.
And Mama
And
Bird falls into the water and gets eaten by an alligator
yep,
creature.
how convenient. the alligator creature that we saw in the first episode. Now that kind of creature kills this dragon. There's always a bigger fish,
Mm,
and kind of like being in the waters of Naboo, that scene from the Phantom Menace. So now they get back, and everybody's very happy with Bo Katan.
mm.
The armorer gives her all this praise and decides to make her a new signet because she lost one, and Bo Katan's like, I want the mythosaur,
But
and she's like,
before that happens, they come back and they're celebrating, and also come back
oh
with the
yeah,
3 baby birds.
the 3 baby birds come
New,
walking out of the ship,
yeah,
you know.
new foundlings. So they just had these things in the ship, and they didn't tear the inside of the ship up at all. I guess they're just being on their best behavior on that ride back.
Right. Yeah, I thought that was kind of ridiculous too.
Yeah,
Um, so the armor, we get to see the armor again make metal. So she's making the signet. Bo-Katan's talking to her about the sigil that's going to go on it, and she's like, "Can I have a mythosaur?" And the armorer's like, "Sure." And then Bo-Katan tries to tell the armorer, "I saw a mythosaur."
yeah,
And oh, that's good, honey. Here, have your armor and go away. Like I'm not buying that.
yeah.
You
You're
didn't
so
really see him.
cute. You're so cute. You saw a mythosaur.
Yeah, that's basically how it kind of felt. And so then, foreshadowing to what I assume will be the next episode, Bo Katan is going to go back and go on a mission to find this mythosaur. Now,
Yep.
overall thoughts and feelings about the episode.
A lot better than last week's episode for sure. I wasn't bored.
Last week's episode was bad.
Yeah,
To me, this week's episode was average.
yeah. I thought it was a decent enough episode. You know, there was some very dumb parts in this that I've already talked about. But yeah, it is just a real average episode. There was nothing in the episode where I was like, wow, that was so freaking cool. Like, man, like, oh, I absolutely love it. There's like some stuff where it's like, okay, that's cool, but not anything to like write home about or jump on the internet and be like, oh my god, did you see that?
No, nothing
So
like that.
so yeah, it was just average. It was, you know, it
I,
was
I
all right,
thought I thought that the episode was an average episode for Mandalorian.
Yeah.
Um, I'm, I thought it was directed well,
Hmm.
but I think the story is bad.
Yeah. Yeah. It definitely is gonna get some points knocked off for the story
The story is bad.
because the whole premise, like, oh, this happens often with these creatures, and it's a day later, and so much of it just doesn't make sense. It doesn't add up, and they spend so much time on this one thing. It literally should have been, if they were going to put that in there, just over and done with. They're fighting. Bo-Katan goes and rescues them. She doesn't come back and be like, "Oh, God, I followed him, guys, and I know where his nest is." And then just move on to something else. But uh, that whole part of the story just feels like filler and just a time killer.
The
Like,
whole episode, all it really did, the only thing that this episode did was show how the Mandalorians are going to respect Bo Katan moving forward. That,
yeah,
that's all. That's all this set up. This entire episode was setting up. Bo Katan has respect
yeah,
from these Mandalorians, and
and you
now and
literally
now
could have
she's
done that.
going. Now she's going to the Mythosaur. That's the story that we're getting, and so that's the main criticism that I have for this season as a whole right now. What story are you telling us right now, and why do I care?
Yeah, yeah.
I
So, prediction. I'm guessing. this is what they're doing. They're going setting this all up for her to go ride the mythosaur, tame it, and then she's is then like, I tame the mythosaur. I'm have a right to rule Mandalore and unite all the clans, this one and all the ones that she had before that left and are now mercenaries out in the galaxy. And I guess that's where they're going, and they'll reestablish their home on Mandalore now that the planet's safe. And I guarantee you, it'll end where they are rebuilding Mandalore, and then
Mhm.
season 4 will be like years and years later, and they'll
They
have
can't do that. They
all
can't do
these
years and
huge
years later.
buildings,
Yeah.
and you know,
Yeah. They can't do years and years later because then you're getting us to episode 7.
yeah,
So I don't, guys. I just, I'll say it again. This story is just one that I don't know how many Star Wars fans are caring about right now. I know some of you are enjoying it, and that's great. We're glad that you're enjoying it. But what is this setting up? What does this have to do with Mando? Where where are the where are the antagonists? The dragon? The alligator?
yeah,
Who is the antagonist of this season? We're halfway through it. We're halfway through it. So, because to me, the story, I'm just going to say it, the story is piss poor.
yeah, yeah. It's just not a story that's like all that great. It's just sort of like,
Because the story is poor, I'm going to give this episode a 7 out of 10. And I feel like I'm being generous.
yeah, yeah. I'm at a 6 just because there was so much of this that just felt like fluff to me.
Mhm.
Um,
But again, it was better than last week.
but it
I
was
gave
better
last
than
week's a
last
3.
week's. Yeah, yeah, it's definitely better than last week's episode. There were several parts of this episode that that had some cool stuff in it. Bo Katan now has 2 pieces of armor, one with the mythosaur on one side, and then one with the night owls on the other side. Now that she knows that the mythosaur signet belongs to all Mandalore, anybody can wear that, which is what Boba Fett wears, and so yeah, and seeing them work together, as a team and kind of bonding, that was all cool and fine. But yeah, at the end of the day, it's just all right, cool.
Yep. So that's our thoughts on the episode. Let us know in the comments what you think about it. What do you agree with? What do you disagree with? What parts did you like? What parts did you not like? What do you give it out of 10? We definitely want to know that. And we'll be back here next week to do the same thing again. See us
Yep.
this coming Saturday night at 7 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time for our regular weekly weekend show. You don't want to miss it. We'll break the episode down. We'll get all kinds of community feedback. We'll go through the Star Wars news of the week. There's a lot to dig into this week for
Mm.
sure. So, anyways, that's going to do it for us. We are Echo Base Network. May the Force be with you, and we'll see you guys on the next one.
See you guys.